Hey guys, this is Non-Lammers of Invoked 101. You can see my giant Transformer shelf back there. Today is Saturday, that means it's Locals Day. Mio and I have packed our bag, our big green Yu-Gi-Oh bag, and we're getting ready to head out in about 10 minutes. You can see I've actually dyed my hair red again. I think it was red in another video, but yeah, I missed having the red hair, so I dyed it back. Not feeling super great today, fully honest. Not anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh or anything, just some personal stuff. So that could be better, but hopefully, you know, my buddy Gara, he's like, hey, you should come to Locals anyways. Might cheer you up. It's good to have fun. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do that. So Mio, she's getting ready. She's really excited to play. Potentially, she might play again. She played last week and did pretty good. So I'm playing Drytron this week for secret reasons. I'm actually not playing Drytron. We're going to psych out our buddy James, who thinks everyone's going to be playing Drytron, but actually Gara and I are playing different decks. Also, Combo Cody is going to be there. He's going to be playing a Wind deck, so I'm main decking Super Poly in my Invoked Eldlich with a copy of Ragin, as well as siding the Wind Kaiju. So we'll see how this turns out, and I'll catch you guys when we get to the So we're here at the game store, as usual, and today we are playing Invoked Eldlich. I picked up a couple cards for it just now. I'm very excited to see how that goes down. I want to hopefully go 2-2-2-1. It's Tall Chris. Hey, bud. And yeah, we got some really good players here today. We got some people who haven't been here in a while, and I'm excited to play against everyone. So hopefully we do a bit better than we did last week.
Any decks that you think you'll go against?
Cody and I usually play against each other, which is pretty okay. So that's going to be Tri-Brigade, and then there's also Odactic, which I haven't personally played against, but I don't see that as that big of a threat. And then there is going to be some other decks that I haven't really seen or played against before. So. Hey, so we finished up Locals 4 hours ago almost. It's 9, just about 10 o'clock now. I played Invoked Eldlich, as I said I would. This deck. I'm filming on my phone right now. Wow. I'm filming on my phone right now because I left the tripod in the car because I'm lazy. And there was no prize support today. There was prize support, but it was just some giant card that someone brought, one of the big Blue Eyes cards from that one set, and I gave that to some kid that was there that wanted it because I got first. Yeah, Invoked Eldlich. My matchups, real quick. Round 1, I played against Combo Cody, who I mentioned was going to be there. He played Tri-Brigade X Sabers, which, if you remember last time he went undefeated with that deck. I believe we did 2 games, I want to say. We might have done 3. He might have been one of my 3 rounds. But I played against him, and I won either 2-0 or 2-1. He did give me a bit of a run for my money, though. Specifically, our games were pretty weird. I remember game 1, we kind of just kept exchanging a board. Like, I'd make a board, he'd break it, make a little board, I'd break it, make a little board, and it went back and forth kind of like that. until it got to a point where he just couldn't out what I had put on board. And then one of the other games was I Nibiru'd him on before he could get out the Wind Barrier statue, and then I sat on a Nibiru until he put another monster on board, at which point I tacticsed back a kaiju that I gave him. Oh yeah, I have tactics now, so that's cool. Oh, this was round 2, yeah. So round 2 I played against Tyler, not round 3. Round 2 I played against Tyler, and he was playing Unchained. That was an interesting match, not gonna lie. I think I 2-0'd that one as well. I can't remember the match totally, which is really weird. And then round 3, I think, who did I play against? I played against Ian. That's right. He was playing Earth Machines, which he's actually pretty adept at that deck. And that was a pretty straightforward game, I felt. That was another 2-0. And then so he was playing like the Machina Trains rank 10 package Earth Machines. And then the final round was against Gorov, who I shouted out on the channel a couple months ago, I think. He's been playing Invoked Eldlich for quite some time. He's pretty good at it. He's definitely one of the better players at our locals, if not one of the best players at our locals, tied up there with Judge Warren. And he and we did game 1, and he took it because he Dark Rulered me. That was one heck of a card, and I think I made just a Dragoon and he Dark Rulered, and that really sucked. Game 2, I went first, and I was able to make a bit of a board, small board, but I was also able to kind of go through his stuff and didn't let him get too far. Or maybe I got game 1 and he got game 2. But then game 3 happened, and that was a combination of I opened the nuts, which includes Alistair, Eldland, and Invocation, and just the whole shebang. Just everything I could want. I had Called By in my hand, like it was the greatest hand. I had Conquistador in my hand with a gold guy. It was pretty good. And so I made Mechaba Eldlich with Conquistador and an Eldlixir set. I still had Meltdown on the field. And then I passed turn. He Cosmic'd away something, and he tried to do something. I negated it with Dragoon. He tried to do another thing. I think I had Ash for the answer for that. No, he Meltdowned. He activated Meltdown. I conked it, and then he tried to do something else, and I Dragooned it. And then he's like, "Yeah, I just don't have anything. I bricked." And so it was. So yeah, nothing on his end, and also a board that's probably the best board to play into. So because I had double Eldlich. I Mechaba it. Yeah, so I had double Eldlich, Conquistador, Vert, and Mechaba. So pretty strong board. But yeah. I won one of the games because I tacticsed away his Dragoon after he negated something, and I would have popped something to burn him for game. But yeah, so that was a pretty good locals overall. 4-0, Invoked Eldlich, and we're gonna jump right into the profile after this.
Alright, so this is the next morning I'm filming this, so if I sound a little different, it's because I just woke up. We're gonna take this pretty simply. We're just gonna go monsters, spells, traps, extra side. And I'm just going to kind of run through it. It's a pretty similar build to my previous list, although I do think that this one is a bit better, but this is pretty similar to my my second place when I'm at deck that I played. Of course, 3 Alistair, best normal summon for like 5 years. Searches Invocation, Honest for Fusion, one of probably my favorite archetype in the whole game. Then I played 2 Eldlich. This is pretty standard. I didn't feel I need a third one. I never saw the third one come up, mainly because 2 is always usually perfect, because he's super searchable and very easy to get. I played 2 Dark Magician and 1 Red Eyes for my Dragoon / Souls package. So I think I talked about that in another video where I mentioned that playing 2 Dark Magicians is correct when playing Souls if you're playing Dragoon, because then you don't brick on an alternate spellcaster. Instead, you just have 2 Dark Magicians that if you open one, you still have the one in deck to send off Souls, and you can just send the one in hand for Dragoon. But yeah, so I that's why I played the 2 Dark Magicians. Souls, I actually ended up siding out 1 copy of Souls a lot of the time, which does kind of make these guys a little bit more Garnet-esque, but I thought Souls was fine. It did its job, and there was actually a moment where I tacticsed into Souls and then Soulsed into more stuff, which was really good. I got like an Eldlich Trap off of it and a Ash Blossom. It was really good. And speaking of Ash Blossom, for hand traps, I played 3 Ash because it's the best hand trap in the whole game. And I would argue this is the strongest card in the whole game, at least TCG wise, since every deck plays it and has been playing it since release, sans a couple formats. And then I played 3 Nibiru. I was expecting a Drytron player. I was also expecting Praying Kids. Nibiru came up a couple times, but it didn't. It wasn't something that like I would keep in. I sided out a copy or 2 every now and then, but yeah, Nibiru was pretty good. And then the last one I played was Skullmeister, and Skullmeister came up quite a bit in some different matchups. It came up against Shaddolls. It came up against Earth Machine. It came up against Tri-Brigade. It really came up against everything. So, and I put this in here mainly for Praying Kid and Drytron, and yeah, no regrets about the Skullmeister. I very much enjoyed the Skullmeister in the main, especially over the Ghost Spell. Like, that's something I've always kind of debated too. So there you go. That's the monsters and the hand traps. It's a pretty low count overall, I think. So spells and traps, it's pretty obvious, pretty simple. Triple Meltdown, obviously to search Alistair and also keep our fusions from getting stopped. Double Invocation, no real reason to play 3. 2 is just fine. I've never had a problem with 2, other than if Alistair gets like ashed or something. For Eldlich spells, the only one I played was the Eldland. Eldland is Eldland. I mean, you know, sends, searches, good card. New addition to the deck, double tactics. These are the only tactics I own. I picked these up before the tournament, and I added them in over Twin Twisters. I was main decking Twin Twisters before, but I added the tactics. It didn't come up too much. Either I didn't see it or just no one hand trapped me. I did use this to steal a Dragoon, and I also used it to steal a Kaiju, and I used it to steal, to draw 2 cards. I never used the other effect, but yeah. So it did come up, and each time I used it, it was against a different opponent. So I used it about 1 time per opponent. And you know, that's about right. That feels about right to me. So yeah. Then I played double Super Poly. I wasn't totally sure about main decking the Super Poly. I actually think I sided the third copy, but I figured since dark decks are still pretty prevalent and Alistair is still a Super Poly target, I figured I would keep playing 2 and see how I like that. And then I played 1 Red Eyes Fusion, obvious, 1 Called by the Grave, and 1 Terraforming to get the Meltdown. But yeah. That's the spell lineup. It's a pretty stock standard spell lineup, at least I feel. I think the tactics are a little different, but I mainly picked these up for Invoked Eldlich in case I ever wanted to play that again, because this card is almost mandatory in that deck. But yeah, so that was the spells. Moving into the traps. Traps are all Eldlich stuff. Triple Eldlich, triple Conk, and 2 Honk. Yeah. Very self-explanatory. Never felt like I needed the other one, the spell card one, and I have said that I've thought about playing the trap card, the counter trap, but I've never put that in or could find a real reason to play that over anything else. Extra deck is slightly different, I will say that. Double Mechaba, obviously, for the negates, and also because it's the easiest one to make. 1 Outgoaties for the 3rd Mechaba, because the 3rd one isn't good, but Outgoaties is also a pop. 1 Purg for the multi-attacking, 1 Ragin, and I almost I did almost make Raging against someone, but he wasn't big enough to swing over the Tri-Brigade stuff, so I ended up going with the Purgatrio instead. But yeah, almost made Raging. Raging almost came in, but I didn't summon Raging. I summoned everyone else but Raging. But to be fair, I play him specifically for the Tri-Brigade matchup, so it's just one of those deals. Then I played one Dragoon, obviously, for the Dragoon stuff. And for my Super Poly targets, I played Starving Venom and Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Just because. Mud Dragon could be something else. There was never a point I actually felt like this could get summoned. Same with Starving Venom, so I don't know how I feel about that. I played one Cyber Dragon Nova, mainly for the Dogmatica matchup. That doesn't happen. We also have had Infernoid players show up every now and then. This is also really good against Infernoid because it gives you the Mechaba. But yeah, it hasn't come up yet, but I leave it in there. This could be a Natis if you really want it to be. One Gustav Max. This almost came up, but I had enough damage just by summoning Alistair and Eldlich to game them, so I didn't overextend into this. And then for links, one Almirage and one Artemis, obviously to make Mechaba and make Purg. And then one Link Spider for the trap cards, because it gets them in the graveyard. Or the Nibiru token, if you get that, because then you can extend and make Link Spider. And then one Vert for my Link 2, and one Blackluster Soldier, which I actually did end up summoning Blackluster Soldier today. Because I think I mentioned in the previous clip, I mentioned I played against Combo Cody, and we just kept exchanging boards. So I made Blackluster Soldier because I didn't think he could out it at the end of my board. I had like Eldlich and Purgatrio and an Alistair, and I didn't want him to run over Alistair because we each only had like 1,300 life points. Like, we didn't have that many. Like, I think I had 13 and he had 15. So I made Blackluster Soldier to be like, okay, well, let's see if he can be an untargetable, indestructible 3k beater. So that was that. Yeah. So the extras, I feel the extras pretty solid. There's nothing I really felt like I was missing at any point during the tournament. In terms of extra deck stuff, I was very much like, yep, this is cool. Side deck, which is pretty strange, because it's kind of weird. Like, it's pretty standard at first. Like, I played 3 Dark Ruler. This is a little wonky, but I played double Twin Twisters, which I mentioned I cut from the main, and one Duster. These could be Cyclones, realistically, but with all the back row that plays at our locals, I felt Twin Twisters was better. I'm playing the one Duster just as like the third Twister to wipe out everything. And then I played 3 Lancia, mainly for Invoke Shadalls and Dogmatica matchups. Stuff like that, stuff that banishes, always good. And then I played triple Droll. This is for Dogmatica, not Dogmatica, Drytron as well. So this is for Drytron mainly. And then I played 1 Godarla, double Gamma Seal. I would just be playing 3 Godarlas because I can get over Godarla like super easy with Invoke stuff or Eldlich. Because you either just Eldlich it away or you swing over it with a revived Eldlich. But I only have the 1 Godarla, and so I played Gam instead. Yeah. If I had another Godarla or 3 Godarlas, I would 100% just be playing 3 of that one. Yeah, that's the side deck. That's the deck. This is first place locals. Running through the matchups one more time. It was X-Saber Tri-Brigade, played by Combo Cody, and it was then Unchained, and then Earth Machine, the Earth Machine combo deck that makes big monsters and does stuff, and Invoked Shadal, played by our buddy Gorav. Yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this down below. This is kind of a different video with the vlog and the deck profile in it, and let me know what you guys thought down below. Thanks.